your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, we're talking about the RSI index along with this stock here, Vista Gold. The reason why, you notice this goes up and down a lot, okay? And there's so many of these out there. There's percent R and a whole bunch of others. I can't even remember all of them. I don't use them anymore. Back in 1984, when I went to work for Commodity Corporation, turned 84 and 85, and there in Princeton, New Jersey, they had all of this stuff programmed, and they ran every single moving average combination that you could possibly come up with. And these oscillators are very good looking in retrospect, but by golly, by themselves they don't mean anything. But they are good for one reason, that is they will trigger in for a trade, but you've got to use something else. Now let's say, looking at this right here, just a few days ago you can see the market was sitting right here and it did turn up. The blue turned over the red. That means it was giving you a buy signal 3 days ago, and you can see what happened after that 3 days. Now, if you buy it there, that was a heck of a move. It moved up 30-some% in just a matter of a few days. They don't always work that way. Look at here. You see it's supposed to be going down, and you see the market continues to go up. That's when it doesn't work. So you've got to add it to something else, whether it's a cycle, a breakout, whatever it happens to be. For instance, one of the things that I always look at is looking at valid trend lines. In other words, if I draw a trend line from this level right here, okay, all right, now we know that, remember, this is a daily chart, okay, so we get a buy signal right here. You can see that. There's your buy signal coming in right about here, all right, and that gets you in, went back to your break-even point, but it still kept going up. So if you have something else along with that, the RSI, the Wells Wilder, whatever you want to use, they all have the same characteristics. They're moving averages based on moving averages. This 5-9 is used by Teresa West, who's one of my students from 30-some years ago, used to live in Bountiful, Utah, and she moved here a couple years ago. We've been friends for a very long time, and along with her whole family. But she's an incredibly good trader, but she uses this in that same way. Looking at this, that's what she's looking for, is a change. Now, many times when I'm showing you this, let me just show you, get this up here with the S&P. I'll just give you a perfect example. Here's a perfect example of how I use it. Now, I always use this along with this. Now, watch the relative strength, and you're going to see where we are. It keeps you from getting into a really bad situation. Now, here is where it turned down. You see how it turned down right at where I wanted to do it now? Look, the timing is off, but look how this turns down. But it's exactly at the ABCD. So I don't get everything set up the way that I want it every time, but when I got them lined up, that'll tell me that's what I'm looking for. So I watch that because it's very sensitive. It's good. It keeps you from buying into, runaway market or something like that. But again, if you use it with something else, it's going to be very helpful. Whether it's a downtrend, breaking a downtrend line, you can see that downtrend line, you break through that, then you go up to this level right here. Look at this. If you did this one right here, you would have got tagged, okay? Except if you were looking at just a simple ABCD on that, let's just shut the front door and raise the rent. Just put this in here. We'll be moving it right up here. And I'm going to be covering a lot of this stuff on the live trading session on Friday, folks. I'm going to be really going into some of the stuff that I did back in the old days before we had all this stuff, how I made a lot of money, how I use these valid trend lines for breakouts and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what we're watching here with this, okay? All right, now let's move on here. We got a couple others that are moving around here pretty good. The live cattle, I just mentioned, they went up there and missed it by a heartbeat and backed off a little bit. They're only 35, 40 points away. I'm not really interested in doing that today because I've got other stuff other fish to fry. Now another question we had was about the natural gas today, and we spent a lot of time on natural gas today. First, what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the long-term picture of what we looked at. Okay, there's where we had the big run up here yesterday. You could see yesterday's run up right here to the 382. Then last night we backed off about 8 points, and you can see the high today. We went up to above the 50% level right here. There was your 382. There was your 50% setting in right there. That's what it was looking at. Now, if you looked at this on the hourly basis as you were watching it unfold, okay, there was the move that you had, all right? Now, if you were waiting to try to find a thing to sell this with today, this is devil's advocate, okay? Now, all we're going to do now is we're going to bring up the old AI and see what it was looking at this morning. And there it was, supposed to be making a high right on the open. See that? So when you have a high right on the open like that, you want to be looking for the first 382, which would have been right about here. And then it's come down. And look what we've just done here, folks. This is just the whole day's action. Now you can see we came down, stopped. We went down to the 382. We made an ABCD to the upside. Let's just see if that made a 382 retracement off the high. I can eyeball it and tell you you're pretty close. And there it is right there, folks. And if you sold it at 40.09, right now it has a $300 profit in it. And it looks like it's heading down. And this looks like it's moving into the right direction, possibly for this too. It's not perfect. None of these ever are, but they give you ideas where to enter without risking too much. It's like baking a cake. You got to put in a little flour, a little salt, a little sugar, and some stuff that helps. What do they call that stuff that helps you move it? Yeast. And it's been so long since I've baked any cakes. Anyway, that's what we're watching here right now. Now, also, I wanted to bring to your attention here the weakness in the Dow Jones, because I have to show you this. With that S&P having a big rally just a little while ago, and I was watching this real closely. There's the Dow Jones. Okay, now, here's Dow Jones. When we were having this rally, you see we couldn't even make a 382 in the Dow Jones. See that? We could not make a 382. We've been here 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. We're testing this bottom one more time. That's what it looks like. Is it going to hold? Well, we've got 3 hours to go to see whether it's going to hold or not. So we have to wait and see. What I'll do is, just for kicks and giggles, I'll bring up oh wow, we've had some big volume here. Well, up and down, you can see there's a bottom. Well, now see, we're reversing here. There's no question. We're reversing here. You see this, and that's sensitive, folks. If it's that sensitive right here and that sensitive right here, it ought to be that sensitive right here. So what I have to do now is to turn this around. And all it's doing is it's catching the vibration, but it's doing the mirror image of what it was expected to do. Okay, so here's where we are coming in right now. Now look at this. Now remember, if they get all these stops down in here and then it doesn't go anywhere, then that's a place to maybe take a look at the Dow Jones. I mean, this is for short-term trading, but we're doing risk control here, folks. We're not trying to build the Empire State Building. We're trying to build a log cabin there in Lincoln, Illinois. Let's draw this in. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry's been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Dow Jones. Now we're coming into a time zone here that's going to be really interesting. We got 3 hours to go in the trading day. This is the harmonic numbers that we look at are related to time. This happens to be a key time at 1:30, and then also again here at the close. So we're coming in now. All I did is I extended this because of this down move. The ABCD had to go at least to this level, which is 122.10. Okay, so now that's coming into that level right now, and we've gone lower than that. Now, I didn't buy at 122.10 because I don't want to try to catch a falling knife, and not only that, it's not due for another half hour. So that's when Pollock will come on. We'll be watching it right there. Now, the only other thing we can do now is we can go to the hourly chart to see if we pick up a higher number that and there it is right there, right at the 786. There it is right now, folks. We're right there, price and time coming together. If it's going to be any good, it's not drawn correctly. Hold on, let's just redraw it because we made a higher high. We got to put that in. There's your high. There's your low right in here. And there's your 786 coming in here at 420. We'll call that 420, 421, 420, 80, 60. So that's where we are right now with this. And if I'm watching this right now, I want to see some indication. In fact, we have this big bar here. Gives me a pretty good idea that I want to be a buyer in here. We'll give it a few more minutes, and we'll see if we're able to buy it at the same time. But this is extended down. When you see a big, we went right up to the 78% level. Okay, that's when the S&P was making that ABCD up there at 55, and it's quite a bit lower than that right now. We've dropped in the last half hour, folks. We've dropped 300 points in the Dow Jones. We went from 2450 to 2150, and we're still dropping. This is not a good sign. So I don't need to be a hero on this. So I'm going to wait and see that I get some type of indication. And if we look at that, to that hourly, the indication is going to be, is it going to hit the 786? And there it is at 420.84. That would be my last stand at Gila River is what I would say. Because if it doesn't hold this, look out. remember, folks, we said this market was in a 21-day, outlier event coming in here on Monday and Tuesday, and you can see now we've dropped 800 Dow points in just a short period of time. 2 days, so that tells you that high is pretty significant. So all we're doing now is watching this at 420.84. We'll just see if it works correctly, but I'm going to bring this up to keep watching. We've got another 15 minutes or so to see if it's going to hit the exact picture, and we'll find out. Where you can see it was pretty much spot on this one. This was the early morning high. This was a little low. This didn't mean very much, but this one's been right on. So we're almost there. You can see it just about hit it exactly. Let's just see if we did. That might be it. Let's just take a look. Yep, there it is, 84. There's just sitting right on the 786 right now. So it's got time and price lined up right here. This is probably where I should buy it, but being a little chicken little that I am, I'm going to wait and see what happens on the next one. Now, alert just went off while we were on the air here. We were talking about the notes on the other program. You can see we've had another big drop in the notes today, and it's hits a pretty significant level. We'll get the daily up because we've probably taken out the lows right back here that we suggested it would be. Okay, and we mentioned on the other show that we did for Steve Rhodes this morning how nasty the Treasury bonds looked. And let me show you nasty. There's the problem right there, folks. Look at that. We've taken out these lows now. All these have been damaged, and look, we're breaking below $11. Folks, there's trouble in River City in that bond market. And see, it must hold 111. Well, so far we've been to what? 111.02. I don't think it's going to hold 111, but to me it's broken down below all these. There's your old low from way back in January, folks. Are you kidding me? That's big. So, well, it just doesn't look very good. That's what we're trying to watch as we look at some of these here excuse me, folks. I got a frog in my throat. Oh, doggone it. Oh, my goodness. Hold on just a second here. Okay. Get that out of the way. All right, what we were doing before. We did that Dow Jones. We're going to keep an eye on it, right? See, we went below it already, so that's not the right thing to do. That's why Chicken Little sometimes pays off. And let's just see how accurate really it's going to be, because it's got another half hour to go. Paula T will be coming on here in another 3 to 6 minutes, and then after she's off, we'll check to see how close we are to the exact high. But any market that drops like this, folks, you maybe could cover some shorts in here, but there's no reason to even try to get long unless you could find something that would give you some idea. Remember, there was a good idea right here. That's 200 Dow points away. Then that's not a good idea when you're going straight down like that. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to buy that, all right? So let's remind ourselves as we're doing that. Now, we notice here that the euro is starting to gain momentum again. Remember, this is where the U.S. dollar looks like it's failing. Okay, so there's where we were this morning. All right, let's just get to show you on the daily because we made that big ABCD up. Oh, this is it right here. Let's do the hourly so we can see the darn thing really clear. There was the big number right here. We're back up there again, folks. That means we could make another new high up in here, and it might go even higher. So that's why you've got to be a little bit careful, always careful, when you're looking at these unfold like this, okay? So that's what we're watching here with the euro. We're looking at the same thing in the British pound. See, the British pound went all the way up, took this high out, and this is so important, folks, because when you look at this on the long-term weekly, okay, this is taken out. This is such a big number in the pound. You just have to show you what it is because Sarah pointed this out to me during the break that I missed something here. This is a monthly. I look at monthlies not very often. What we're going to do here is we're going to clean this up just to show you where we are. That's going back the last 3 years. Okay, you can see we've had a lot of ABCDs in this market all the way up. ABCD, up, ABCD. And now we've taken out the highs, okay, of September of last year. We've hit it 1 month, 2 months. This is the third time we've done it. We've taken that high out. That's a very important point. See that? We took out the highs of 2 months ago. We took out the highs of September 9 months ago, and it's still moving higher. that means it could go even better. So we have to be really careful. All I'm looking at is, you can see this low here and this low here, and this is what I missed. Sarah picked this up for me. There was your low right here. There was your high right there. And there you're coming in right up here. And we might make this right here. And that would be an A, B, C, D. We're not very far away, folks. We're only 30-some pips away from that. You think we can't make that? Well, of course we can. So let's keep an eye on that, okay? That's what we're paying attention to as we see this here unfold. Now, we're going to have a break here pretty quick. Let's just see one of the other things that we had. We were watching Apple this morning. The one we did lose on, of course, was Google on that weekly chart. We did that at 170, and we got stopped out at 170. Oh, looks like we got stopped out. That was the weekly chart. Let's get that up here. Yeah, see, I had my stop at 74.50, and the high was 74.53. So we got stopped out by 3 ticks, and now it's back down to almost where we sold it. So that's what we're paying attention to here. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, folks, these markets have totally collapsed here, so you certainly don't want to try to pick a bottom. I think we have PT in the house. Are you still there, young lady?
Yep. I'm back,
All right.
Larry. This is Dr. Paula talking.
Since the last hour you talked, the S&P's dropped 100 points.
Oh, my. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had a nice little ABCD up there, and it's dropped 100 points. Fortunately, I was able to make the first 40. I left 60 on the table, but Mark always said it's better to leave some on the table than let the table collapse, and I didn't want it to collapse today, so it's doing okay.
Exactly.
Anyway, you know, Paula, people don't realize the day-to-day work that you and Mark did. I mean, I've known you guys for, well, back in '83, that's been more than 10 years. And, you know, every single day you went through the same stuff. You met all the guys, you fed us, you've done everything for us through all those years. And people don't realize the experience that you brought to the table when you first met Mark. As I recall, you were the #1 person for an Illinois senator or something on one of his campaigns or something like that. Was that correct?
No, I worked for the U.S. Senate as a fundraiser for the Democratic Senate. Yeah. Which meant, you know, I had to cater to all these senators and be very discreet. And I was paid very well to do that. And that was right around the time, just about the time when the Disciplined Trader, we'd wrapped it up, and it went to the publisher. And I said, you know, I need a break from this, because writing with Mark was not exactly joyful every day, as you know, because he sat in your house writing, and you know, you tried to give him some advice on occasion, and he could be quite stubborn. So I did that a little bit of politics for about 2 years. I had a contract for 2 years, and then came back to help grow our business, the consulting business, and get back to trading. So
all that was happening. You remember with CompuTrack? Remember, it was just starting, and these charts that we're looking at were just in the eventing stages. And Tim Slater was a good friend of Mark who really loved the psychology and stuff. And we did all those traveling road shows for, oh my God, we traveled all over the world so many times. It was just, been to India twice, which I'll never go back again. I just don't do well in that environment for some reason. I'm sorry for getting off the beaten path, but
but that's a good point that you bring up, because when Mark went to India as well, it really changed him forever, seeing the abject poverty over there. And, you know, they would be driving down the street, and, you know, families would be living right next to open sewers. And then we'd pull into a 5-star hotel where everything was beautiful and clean. And it really affected Mark. And that's why he spent a good portion of the last days that he had, the last years that he had, really too generously giving to the trading community, because he that trip really affected him. So I understand. It's I mean, they have different reasons for, you know, whatever, but also too, because when Mark would give his presentation and I'd be in the back of the room, the people in India, they would be shaking their head no. And you know this, Larry. Oh, yeah. And Mark would be like, they're not getting it. And he would like drive himself crazy. And finally, Tim Slater, you know, who ran the CompuTrack conferences, he'd say, no, that's their way of saying they agree. And Mark just blew his mind. He's like, oh my God. He was flipped out. He really was. Yeah. So
I think I called him a few months ago to get him to come on the show here. He's in his 90s now, still living in that beautiful antebellum house there in New Orleans. And he said, Larry, he said, you know, he's not giving as much as I can give. He said, I'm having too much fun with the art and antiques and stuff. But he invited me to come down and visit him and stuff. But I had a lot of good memories through that. But God, where'd those 50 years go, darling? I don't understand. Let's tell the folks more. We had some questions about the book that's coming out, the Warrior Trader book. They'd like to know more about that book, how it became a concept and everything.
Well, I'm just kind of continuing on. You know, Mark and I had a vision of opening an institute to bring the best minds, to traders, and that didn't come to fruition exactly. But, you know, I am still continuing the path that we set out upon so many years ago, and that is to help traders become warriors. You're stepping into battle every day in the markets, especially now, okay, especially since the last election. And things are going to be crazy, for some months to come, which is fine because we can make a lot of money from this if we have the right mindset. And having the right mindset just doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to write in my journal, okay, I'm going to tell myself to follow my rules. You cannot control any beliefs that don't allow you to follow your path that you have chosen. So if you continue to not follow your rules or make trading errors, then you have to be honest with yourself and understand that, unless you're willing to change, your trading results are not going to change. And one of the quickest ways to start changing your trading results is to start paying for things in cash. And Larry, you know this, the greatest T-bond trader of all time, Robert St. John.
Yeah.
He never used a credit card, except, like for travel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He always was shelling out hundreds of dollars of bills to pay for meals or gifts or whatever.
Yeah.
And same with Mark. He paid cash for everything unless, a credit card was required. And that's how traders connect to their trading account equity. Mm-hmm. When you pay cash, you are connecting to your profit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And we, with everything being electronic, it's real easy to, it doesn't really exist. So when you start paying cash, and I still pay cash, then I know exactly what's going on in my account, my trading account. I know exactly how much I have in my checking account, my savings, whatever, because I'm connected to my money because I love money, like we all do. Okay, so I want to make as much as I can and keep as much as I can. And the way to do that real quickly, guys, to change your limiting beliefs or your bad trading behaviors, start paying for cash, and you're going to start paying attention to actually seeing opportunity in the market.
Yeah, I remember one of the money shows back in the late 80s, Robert came to visit us, and we were going to play, and Bryce Gilmore was there, and the casino, the MGM, was just opened, and it was filled. You just couldn't find anything, and he wanted to play. And so we went up to the blackjack boss, the pit boss, and he said, I want to play some blackjack. And he said, well, what do you have in mind? He said, I'll play $1,000 a hand. And he says, do you have a count? He said, no, I got cash here. He had $30,000 in cash on him. Right. And Bryce had about $4,000. And so they opened a table. Of course, Rich Anderson was there. He bet a $5 chip, which he still has to this day. But that's a little joke. But Robert bet 8 hands, and Bryce bet 2 at $1,000 a hand. Robert won 6 of the 8, then lost 2, so he was up. He was up $6,000. Bryce lost most of his. He never forgave me. Hey, BT, we'll have you on again real soon, darling. Okay, thanks for joining us. Right. Okay, we got more stories to tell. That's for sure. We'll be right back.
Absolutely. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pros pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, we've had a big news announcement of some kind. I don't know what the heck it was, but because I don't follow the news, I don't have it on TV or anything like that. You can see we went all the way down to here. It's within about a couple of minutes. Then you had this island reversal here. That would be your first sign that the market was going to move. You see this move down all the way like this. John Hill says when you retrace more than 80% of that, which would have been right about there, that's a yum-yum. And that means the shorts have been trapped or the longs have been trapped. Now we rallied up to the 382. That's really all you can really say about that. Now, let's take a look at the bonds, what they're doing, because last time we checked, we had just see if we broke the 11. Yes, we did. We got down to 1024. And we didn't hold it. We went back above it, so we did that to clean that. We already done that in the euro, but the Treasury notes. So something big is going on. I don't know if it's related to the tax thing, or I don't follow that stuff. I just look at the charts. Now look at the gold here. Now this was a short-term pattern. Remember, here's where we were. I said this is probably the 382. You're down $1,200. There's your 135 pattern coming in right here. If you see from your low right here to your high, come right in, stayed there for 15 minutes right there at the 618, and now you had started to move up. This tells us if we start getting above here, it's going to be moving higher. Now let's just check the AI just for kicks and giggles to see what it did for today, because I don't check it all the time. But there has been the action so far. You see it did a pretty good job here, pretty good job here. Not doing a good job here. You see how it's changed? So when I see that changing like this, I have to reverse this. So all I do is I go back and I click this on, and then I'm going to hit invert when it comes up, and I'm going to invert this like this. And I'm going to look at it and see if it's following like I thought it would be. All right, now you see how the high came in right at the exact low, all right? Then it came down. Here's where it changed, right here. That's where it changed. See, it should have been coming down. It didn't. It changed right there, and now it's starting to move higher. And you'll notice here, look at you see these are right out of the Floor Trader's Handbook. These are the key times of the day. for these things, folks. I mean, we did thousands of those to show that this is the most key time of the day, and that's why it's so important. All right, move on to the next one here. We had something else this is natural gas had a nice little pop here too. See, we went up here and we came back down. And now we've had a little bit of a rally here, so it's not doing too much on this little pullback here. You could see that was a pretty big drop, 409. Let's see how much. It's about $500, right? Yeah, it's 441 down to that's $500. Now it's still going like this, but you see how we should be going up, and we should be coming down here, but it's going up. You see this? See how it should be coming down here, but it's going up. So I need to do that. I just take this over, put this on, and then I'm going to change it to make it invert because it's looking at the mirror image of this. You can do these yourself, folks. I've showed you how to do it in the AI book without any trouble at all. I'm going to do that again Friday. And here's where we are. We should be rallying into this spot right here. That's what it looks like, okay? Because now from this time on, let's just move it over just to get it perfectly squared here so you can see where we are, all right? We want to get the exact low because that's when it changes. So what? Well, move it over just a little bit here. So that's toward late in the day. That's in another hour from now. We should be making a high up in this, but it's still so late in the day. Not as easy to see as the gold market or the S&P market. So that's pretty much what we're paying attention to here today. Now let me clean this up here to make sure that I have everything that I wanted to cover. We did all the stock stuff already that we were looking at. Oh, one that looked really interesting was the NVIDIA because it really got strong here earlier in the day. Let me get this up here because remember we were looking at that 132 level in NVIDIA for a potential sell on the downside. So let's get this daily up and you'll see here that it's rallied about 3 points. You can see how, we gave it all back. Yeah, see, it's still in the zone here for that island. You see, it got all the way up here to 138, folks. It's already dropped 5 points. Now, this is the one you want to watch because if you see where it's 133 right now with 2 hours to go, if this thing closes at 132 or better, or worse, 132 or worse, in other words, down below these levels, right here, that's 132, closes below that, that's why that little beeper's on. That'll tell us it's going to be just like that. And where do you think it's going to open tomorrow? Hello, operator. Look, it's given 5 points back. I mean, took out the highs of the last few days. Look, and then here it is right now. So not looking too good. That's pretty much it. All right, let's get this out of the way here, and we'll keep watching as we keep watching through here. Okay, those are the main things. Oh, I did want to mention the thing about the December. Remember, we were in the wheat when we were talking before, and you notice that the rally that we had went up exactly to the 382 of the high right back here and to the exact 786. It's already sold off 10 cents from that level right now, so almost back to where we originally got out. So we'll see what that happens. I want to be a buyer of wheat when it backs off, folks, so don't let this fool you. This thing has changed for good. Let's just make sure you don't miss anything. So let's just go to the hourly chart. We're going to buy that 382 retracement on the way back. I've already got it marked here, but it's got to change now. All right, there's our, look at this. This is incredible. How do people miss this stuff? Well, I know why, because they just too darn many things. There's your ABCD swing right there. Now it should go to 83, but because of all this movement straight up, you've got to change that to 1.27. And if you put that up there along with the the 786 and the 382 there, it measures to 89, okay? It went to 91, and that means the 382 on this whole thing back here from where we originally looked at it. Buy some wheat if we get down here, down another 10 cents, folks. Get long some wheat. 573, put your stop below here because this has got a chance to be a really big one. I really believe that. There's your 382 pattern right here. Misses it by a little bit, and this would be a really good one to look at, especially if it took, so we got Friday is going to be our live trading day, which will be fun. So we got all day tomorrow, and that'll be a day and a half, so that'll be right here. There's our trading day right in here on the 23rd. We want to be watching to be buying wheat. That's one of the things we want to be looking to be a buyer because it's acting pretty good. Now the cattle are back up to that same level here I think this is a probably good place to sell them, but it's late in the day, not too much interest in it right now. So those are the main things that I'm sort of paying attention to here right now. Okay, so I hope that helps, and we'll see what we have. Anything else on the board that we were watching really closely? Want to take one more look at these notes because they're still coming down. Remember, on this note thing, we got to go back here to January. Remember, the bonds are here, folks. The bonds are already here, all right? So that's why the bonds look so bad. Now, this is the notes. This is the shorter-term papers holding up relatively well. Maybe it gets to this level. We've not quite taken that out yet, but we probably will. But let's go back and just to prove to you how bearish the bonds are. There's the January low. See it? See the difference between the notes and the bonds? See, bonds are making new lows from way back here. Not a good sign. Something's wrong with the bonds. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, in this week's newsletter, I focused on the fact that the Fear Greed Index was almost at a maximum level, almost at our old highs. I also pointed out the fact that the put-call ratio was worse than it was in of March of 2009. That nobody wanted to buy any puts down in here. That's the time to buy them, I guess. And then also we were looking at the leverage because they kept pouring money into this market here on this 21-day run that we had, and now they're starting to turn lower. But that's what we were watching here. Few things. We've watched all of these patterns unfold that we talked about. They were up there so many times up in this area, completing all these patterns, and now they're starting to come down. You can see we dropped 100 handles just today in the S&P. The Dow Jones now has dropped all the way down to down in this area here. We've taken out this low already, so that's another sign that something's not kosher as we looked at that. So those are the main ones that I was watching. I think that covered pretty much what I wanted to cover today. Hold on one second. I want to look at one other thing on here. The put call ratio. The Russell was the one that was the worst because, see, that was the one to sell, and we're way lower than that now. We didn't even take out the highs of the previous week, and this is now where we are. We got as high as 2117, and now we're 30 handles or 40 handles under that right now. So that tells you there's some type of a top coming in here. Whether it takes out these lows or not, I'm not sure, but everything relates on what somebody in Washington says, something either good or bad. Anyway, that's what we're watching, so stay tuned. We got 34 seconds left to go, and I don't know what to say in that 34 seconds, so let's pull up the charts here, see if there's anything real exciting happening going on. And I don't see too much. We're still looking at natural gas to make a little higher high. The S&P still heading lower. Looks like into this area right here, and we'll see you on the flip side tomorrow, folks, and may God bless.